Kane's like, like, if I find out it was you, I'm gonna get you. And then Sheamus is like, well, I don't, be like being called a liar. So Kane's like, I'm gonna see you real soon. So that leads us to our next matchup: Sheamus versus A, Kane, B, Mark Henry, or C, Evan Bourne. And who the fans vote for? Kane. And this was actually a pretty good match, I thought. It was kind of back and forth. Sheamus kind of took control for the beginning of it. He had a nice running power slam on Kane. Kane fights back. One thing I didn't understand with the matchup was Kane does a boot to the face, and all there thinks it's Sheamus' pump kick. He's like wow, Sheamus has been hit with. That's the first time I've ever seen Sheamus hit with that move, and it's like, King, there's a difference between a boot to the face and a pump kick. A boot to the face is a simple guy comes running at you, put the boot up, bam, down he goes. Pump kick is when you actually run toward the guy and you do a jumping little kick and knock the guy down. Big difference, King. Start paying attention, phony. Anyway, finish of the matchup. Kane hits a choke slam on Sheamus. Sheamus rolls out of the ring. Refs counting to 10. Sheamus gets up on the ring apron about 7, and then Sheamus is like, hell with it, leaves the ring, takes the count out. So Kane wins, thus trying to continue his hunt to figure out who the hell put the Undertaker in the freezer for a vegetative state. Let's see. Next we have a recap of Wade Barrett, basically winning NXT. And then we have Barrett backstage, and then this is where I guess she's a SmackDown interviewer. Her name's Savannah. She's like, and here's what she says. She says, "How are your thoughts?" I think she went to say, "What are your thoughts?" But whatever. She's good looking. Anyway, so she basically asks, what are your thoughts about winning NXT? And then Wade Barrett's like, basically he doesn't really respond. He's just kind of just kind of bragging about it. And he's like, why don't you ask me in a week how I feel? Well, I didn't really understand what that was, but at the end of the show, you'll see what he meant. Okay. Next segment, I'm just not really going to talk about it much. It was basically continuing the whole stupid A-Team backstage skit thing that they were trying to put the movie into the show. Basically, you find out that that IRS stole Lawler's crown because of not paying his back taxes on his jewels on the crown. That was kind of funny, I thought. But then they, I don't know, they had some kind of tear gas or something backstage. It was stupid. I'm not even going to talk about it. Next we got R-Truth with a choice of Christian, MVP, or Morrison in a tag match against Miz and his partner choosing of Dolph Ziggler, William Regal, or Zack Ryder. Fans vote Morrison and the fans vote Zack Ryder, so we have a tag match. But your basic tag match, R-Truth starts off getting a lot of offense. Then Miz and Ryder take over for a while. Morrison gets the hot tag, and then Morrison starts cleaning house. Really, a lot of the big moves in the match went to Morrison. Morrison's running knee to Miz for about a 2 count. Springboard kick on Ryder. But then out of nowhere, Miz hits the skull-crushing finale and then pins Morrison, so thus giving Miz a little bit more momentum for the whole U.S. title thing with R-Truth. It was kind of a short tag match, but it was good for what it was. Next we got Edge and Bret Hart backstage. Basically, Edge trying to talk his way out of the match again. It's not fair to have his arm tied behind his back. Bret's like, whatever. Match is still on. And then Kane threatens Bret Hart, I guess about, the history of Bret Hart, The Undertaker, how Taker surpassed Bret Hart's legacy, and then Bret Hart wants revenge, for closure or whatever. So, just threatening him, because it could be anybody that did it. Hell, you know what? It could have even been me, phonies. I might have taken out The Undertaker and shoved him into the freezer. Beware. No, I wouldn't do that. Classic 1333 would know, though. I took that phony out of his job. That's pretty cool. Alright, anyway. Yeah, if you've never seen the footage, check on this channel. It's pretty funny. I took his punk ass right out from underneath his feet. When he came out, I just love when I'm off the story here, but gotta talk about it. Came outside from work, threw his ass against the fucking, garage-looking wall, headed into a bucket, smashed him with a cookie sheet, took off in his own car. It was classic. Not vintage, but classic. It was priceless. I loved it. Anyway, back to the show. So then we got Edge versus Randy Orton in their little arm matchup. The arm behind Edge's back, and then Orton's wearing a sling in the match. Sell his shoulder injury. Phony said, this guy has a shoulder injury. Why is he in the ring? I don't understand the logic behind that. You're endangering the talent. I don't get it. Anyway, this was a pretty kind of short, quick match. Most of it was a beatdown, but Orton pretty much, doing his thing, doing the whole rugged Ronnie Garvin stomps and whatnot. And then Edge winds up later just taking off the brace, and he's like, fuck it, takes the brace off and starts attacking Orton. And then he's going to spear him, and then Orton kicks him in the chest, and then kicks him out of the ring, and starts to go after him, and then Edge grabs a chair, and I think he hits him in the ribs, but according to the camera angle, according to Michael Cole, who I'm sure we can all believe and trust, says that he hit him in the shoulder. So then for good measure, Edge takes the chair and then smashes Orton in the shoulder again, thus injuring his shoulder further. So, it was actually kind of a cool chair shot. Then the announcers reviewed the Divas match earlier, because they're killing time for whatever reason. Then we got Cena and Evan Bourne backstage, and then basically it's just Bourne thanking Cena for allowing him to be his partner last week. And, no offense to this, but are they trying to push Evan Bourne, up to the top now? Are they trying to do what they originally did with MVP and Mark Henry before they dropped the ball with it? If you're going to push this guy up to the top, why isn't he main eventing again this week? Maybe why not do another tag match? Have this guy main event. Why not have him wrestle somebody and beat him? I mean, if you're going to push this guy to the top, don't just have him thanking Cena, and then that's it. Have him actually beat somebody. Keep his momentum going. Push some of your young stars to the top. Yeah, they pushed Sheamus, but who else have they really pushed lately? Whatever. Well, Jack Swagger, I guess, too, but oh well. Alright, anyway, so then Savannah basically asked Cena, how do you feel about not knowing who your opponent is? And then Cena gives this typical bullshit promo. And it was actually, I was laughing during this promo because Cena had his traditional merchandise on, his stupid orange shirt, his stupid hat, his little wristbands. I just kept thinking of WrestlingJesus destroying the merchandise with his hammer and tearing it with cutting it with scissors and shit. If you haven't seen those videos, check them out. I might even put the links in the description box down there. And no, I'm not talking about my crotch. I'm talking about down there in the description box. Anyway, next backstage thing. Oh, it's just more of that stupid A-Team seeking segment or whatever. Although Gene Okerlund was in it. It was cool seeing him, but why they would put him in this ridiculous segment, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about it. Next, we got Drew McIntyre versus A, Yoshitatsu, B, Goldust, or 3, as a number 3, a mystery opponent, which is Matt Hardy. It was pretty obvious because the guy, there's a shadow of the guy, but he's doing the Matt Hardy symbol, so it's obviously Matt Hardy. So the fans choose Matt Hardy. And basically, this match was pretty much just a beatdown for Drew McIntyre. Matt Hardy pretty much kept throwing him, beating him up outside the ring with punches and throwing him into the wall, into the steel post. McIntyre hit a boot to the face at one point, but that didn't really do anything. Hardy kept the attack going. Hits Twist of Fate and pins him. Short matchup, kind of too short in my opinion. I guess it's just Hardy getting his whole revenge. I really don't know the backstory with this storyline, even though Cole explained it. I didn't watch it on TV, so I didn't know. Oh, and an interesting point. At 2 hours and 18 minutes into the show, Michael Cole has never said the referee's view obstructed. Although, unfortunately, later in the show, he says it. Alright. Let's see. In the ring, it's more of that stupid A-Team segment. I'm not talking about it. Fuck that.